Good morning. What I'm going to talk about is being a teacher in China and being old. As you can see, I'm old. I'm actually 68. And if you've been following me on YouTube or Twitter or somewhere else, Facebook or wherever, you will have seen that about a month ago, I was told by my university that they were not going to renew my contract this year. And that's because Zhejiang province have said that I'm too old, and they can't employ people my age anymore, despite the fact that age 60 is the legal ceiling for English teachers in China, and you might have come across that yourself. You might be somebody in England who's considering coming to China to teach when you can get in and when you can get the visa, when the borders open. So, what I'm going to sort of talk you through is my experience. Whether it's relevant to you or not, I don't know, but maybe it'd be helpful for some people. So, back in 2011, I took voluntary redundancy from the University of Plymouth, where I'd been working for 12 years on the admin side. I've been their market research manager for 12 years. And they tried to make me redundant 2 years previous to that. And then they'd sort of made a mistake. And then for the following 2 years, I think they were just trying to bore me out of my job until I finally put my hand up and said, yeah, I wanted to be part of the voluntary redundancies that were going on. So, what I'd always wanted to do was teach in China, but life had got in the way. But now I had the opportunity. But I was 58 then, and and I knew that the ceiling was 60. And I thought, well, okay, I'll get 2 years, 2 years of experience in China. And I've always travelled around the world. I've worked in South Africa, I've worked in Holland. I've done a lot of travelling, and I still wanted to do it, even though I was in the what they call it, the autumn of my life. Anyway, uh, I didn't want to stay at home, get the redundancy, stay at home, do some shite job like stacking shelves in Sainsbury's, and go out of this world, feet up, watching Wheeler Dealers on the TV. No, I wanted to do something. I wanted to continue traveling. So I applied for jobs, and yeah, I did get one. At age 58, I got a job offer in Nanjing, and I came. Didn't like it very much. It was at a college. Students were a bit shy, and I wanted to teach because I've been teaching prior to going into the admin side of the university. I've been teaching sociology and social science for about 20 years before that. Uh, and this college in Nanjing was pretty shit. And I got involved in a road traffic accident on my motorbike, which sort of knocked the adventure out of me a bit when you come face to face with your own mortality. So, yeah. So I bailed out actually. The spring break, I left, ran home with my tail between my legs. I was depressed and probably a bit of PTSD from the road traffic accident. Anyway, when I got home, I finally realised there's not a lot I could do. I got a couple of part-time, short-term contracts at universities, doing a bit of research here, doing a bit of research there, but it's boring. Getting on the coach from Plymouth and going on to the coach all the way up to London, and then getting on a stinking coach coming back. It was no life. It wasn't life like being in China. wasn't adventurous, and I'd had enough of that. So a buddy of mine sort of told me there was another job going in Nanjing, and did I want to apply for it? And I did, and I got it. Again, now I was really scraping under the ceiling, Um, I probably, sort of still 58, maybe kicking on 59, and I got myself a visa. And let me underline that for those of you who don't know is that I do have a PhD. So, that is like my ace up my sleeve, having the PhD, uh, as well as the teaching experience in British universities. So, yeah, my eyes a bit itchy. Um, so yeah, so I got that, and I was at that school for 6 years. But unbeknownst to me, until the very end of that 6 years, is the school had been getting my work permit by Guangxi. After my first year, I'd been signing 2-year contracts, and it was we had we were just going into the spring break. When was that? 2019. Yeah, 2019. When they called me to the office and told me again I was sacked. So here we go again. I was sacked. And the reason I was sacked was because they'd been getting my documents by Guangxi, so I was illegal to all intents and purposes, and they told me uh, that I couldn't teach. At that time, we were in a meeting in the office, and a week later, we went to Thailand with my wife. I went to Thailand on holiday with my wife, and we finally got a message, a WeChat message saying, "Yeah, it's finished, and you have to be out of your apartment on a certain day in March." Well, we were in an apartment on the campus, so that was a double whammy. Not only lose my job, but haven't been out of the apartment, and nothing we could do because I was illegal. I mean, they were sort of doing me a favor because when I got back after I'd left uh, the apartment, uh, my colleagues, the foreign teacher colleagues who were working at that school, were all arrested and taken down the police station and interviewed for 3 hours, because what it turned out was that not only were our work permits were all illegal, because the agency I was working for didn't have permission to run a school. We were in a foreign language department in a high school, and they didn't have permission. That's why we were illegal. So they sort of did me a favor because I'd helped them a lot. They did me a favor by sacking me and getting me off the campus. Well, I was out of work, and I was, 65? Yeah, 65. And I was 65 by then. And I was hunting for a job. And finally, a university here in Hangzhou, where I am now, they came up trumps and said, "Yeah, we can get you the work visa because you've got the PhD, and I've written some books, and you're the expert. You're the expert we need. We can make a claim with the local PSB that you're the person we want." Okay, and that's gone well for 3 years, until I think it's 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago, when again I had that message. Sorry, we can't renew your visa. So here I am. My residency visa runs out on 27th of June. It's the 3rd of May today. So we don't really have long. I thought I did really well. I've been really positive and pushing out my CV because people can employ me if they really want to as an expert. But and I was really pleased that within about a week I'd had an interview with the Science and Technology University of China in Hefei, which is a top 10 university, and they made me an offer. Yeah, I was really over the moon because, like, here I am. 2 weeks later, I've got an offer. Yeah. And a week later, sorry, we can't employ you over 65. So in Hefei, in Anhui province, you can get a job up to 65 in a university if you've got the right qualifications. So you'd probably need an MA minimum, PhD. And the salary was quite good, 20,000 RMB. So, it's not the normal. Yeah, what I'm earning at the moment is like about 10,500 10,500 yuan. But that includes some of my rent. The rent for this place is 4,000. I only get about 2,500 from the university. So yeah. So what am I doing to try and find more work? Well, I've been interviewed by an American university in Zhejiang province. And I've asked them time and time, "Are you sure you can employ me? Are you sure because of my age?" And they say yes, yes, yes. So they've interviewed me, uh, and now we're moving on to the next stage, which is another 2 interviews plus an interview with HR. In the meantime, I've had to get my PhD ratified through World Education Services, I think, WES, because it's an American university. They have to have some sort of American ratification. That cost me $200 to do the stuff online. So, and I had to ring up my university in Exeter to tell them to expedite it. It's just so complicated. I've had an interview with a university in Chongqing, which went all right because they're asking me to do a demo lesson next Friday. And that's about it. I've got 2 chances at the moment. The backstop is the spouse visa because I'm married to a Chinese woman. There's a portrait I painted. But that's complicated as well because when we moved to this new apartment, you have to register with the police. So we went to register and they said, no, 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 we can't register you at the moment. We're not registering foreigners because of the virus. So we didn't register until January. Now, to get the spouse visa, my wife has to be registered in this accommodation for 6 months. So the 18th of January is the 18th of July. My spouse visa runs out on the 27th of June. So there's a 3-week gap. Now, I believe I can get an emergency visa, humanitarian visa. It lasts for 30 days. But I'm told that I need to buy an airplane ticket because if that fails, I have to leave China, which, it's going to be disastrous. So it's a bit complicated at the moment. We think we might be able to convince the local PSB to give me the spouse visa earlier. And in fact, my wife is just getting her hukou, a family book from her mum in Changzhou, so we can take it to the local police here. If that doesn't work, we have to go to Changzhou, to the PSB there, where it might work there. And we have to do that before the end of June. But we're all constrained by the virus at the moment. You've got to have tests. You've got to do quarantine. If we go to Changzhou, we have to do quarantine. If we come back, we have to do quarantine. It's all very complicated. But anyway, so for those of you who are knocking on 60, or even older than 60, it is possible to get work in China, but it becomes complicated. I'm sort of optimistic that I will still be here, whether I'm in a job or uh, on a spouse visa. If I'm basically going to take any job, if somebody offers me a job with a visa, I'll take it. Doesn't matter where it is in the country, even if my wife has to stay here and I go there, and just so that we can get ourselves settled down and getting the spouse visa. I know I have to retire sometimes, and I was planning on retiring when I was about 70, but this has come just 2 years early. And we sort of hadn't really prepared for it. You need to get your ducks all in a row in China to prepare for it and get all the paperwork and all the legal stuff right. And that hasn't really happened because it's all been a bit of a shock. Um, so yeah, so yeah, so we will try get a job. If not, get a spouse visa, and hopefully you'll continue to see some more of my videos from China, wherever that might be. Might be Chongqing, might be Wenzhou, might be somewhere else, but who knows? Who knows? Complicated, isn't it? Cheers.